Good evening. Musical interlude here.
The existence of God, find it in your face. In the shadows in the hall, I can't find it anymore. Seize the opportunity, seek the nearest goal, for proving the existence of God, lost inside your face. A man named Sketch, he's an etch, he has a smell, you know quite well. He comes in colors, in a foam pack, you only use him, then put him back. You take it for granted, you'll be mad once it's away. What's the use if it is scented, smell the drawings look that way. You press the top, and more comes out. Little tips and increments, bring you all about. It's always sharpened, but when it's done, reload's impossible and never fun. You take it for granted, you'll be mad once it's away. Piece of wood turned to mechanic, stupid pencils put that way. You write things down, they fade away. Electric scissors cut through your pants. Barbecue chips never last too long. Kale pectate burns real nice. Hobnobbing with the goose. 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 Gooch, 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 gooch. Hobnobbing with the gooch. Hey, let's hobnob now. Go hobnob with the gooch. Hobnobbing 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 with the gooch.
Ah, yes. Good evening, boys and girls. Good evening, brothers, sisters, siblings, everybody out there. All of my wonderful friends throughout the entire internet universe who enjoy tuning into this kind of stuff. As usual, my name is Bill Camarada, and you are watching Bill's Box of Sound, the live stream. Good evening. It is Saturday, October the 8th, and it's my pleasure to be with you to go over what's happened this week. It's been about a week since I did any sort of a live stream. And those of you who did watch the last live stream knew that I was a bit in a tizzy. I was like really upset. Oh, man. Broccoli, it's good for you. I hope you enjoyed watching me eat some broccoli and a couple of cherry tomatoes. I know that that wasn't what you planned on watching this evening, but hey, it's what I do. Anyway, you've already got a couple of wonderful little comments here. One from Nathan saying you got an Ortophon 2M bronze coming. Awesome! Very excited about that. That we're really looking forward to hearing how that turns out for you. And of course, once you get it and you mount it and you calibrate it, get it all dialed in and stuff, comes the break-in period. And Paul says he saw a porcupine tree last Friday. Amazing. Yeah, I believe it. I've heard nothing but great things about Porcupine Tree live performances. He says, was supposed to see Tortoise Wednesday, but the band got COVID, sadly. Never heard of Tortoise. That's new for me. I may have to check that out. But, and I've listened to it, I think, 1.5 times. This is the most recent Porcupine Tree album, Closure Continuation, and I got it on black vinyl, mostly because it was the least expensive option. And very cool. I should listen to this again soon. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. Anyway, last time that I was streaming to you folks, the moving coil cartridge on my Techniques 1200 turntable, the stylus just died. The cantilever just went right up against the cartridge and would not move. And I don't know how it happened. I wasn't doing anything. But I went online and pleaded to you wonderful people out there, what kind of cartridge shall I replace this with? And I got lots of great suggestions. Everything from the Grado signature to the Nagaoka 110 to the Soundsmith Otello. A friend of mine from Canada mentioned that. And what other ones were recommended? Several Ortophons, including the Quintet 2M moving coil. And some people said, "What's a moving coil cartridge? What what's an MC cartridge?" Well, as a lot of you already know, most regular, conventional, popularly priced phonograph cartridges are magnetic cartridges. And what that means is, of course, you've got a diamond, which is the stylus on your needle. You got your cantilever, and that goes inside of your cartridge. And there's 2 magnets that go inside of coils. And that helps the cartridge translate the little squiggles and wiggles on your record into electrical energy that goes to your phonograph preamp and, of course, your amplifier and your speakers and your ears. Moving magnet cartridges, which are the more popular ones, they're good. Some of them are even great. And the process of the magnets and the coils that go around them, of course, have mass. They take up parts of the universe. And there is another type of cartridge called a moving coil cartridge, which instead of being attached to magnets inside of the cartridge, the cantilever is connected to coils. And the coils go inside of magnets. And the benefit of this is that the coils are lighter and they're more free to move around and produce sound. And as a result, the sound is clearer, better, more detailed, um, more free. The disadvantage to that is that usually the output of the cartridge is a bit lower, so you have to use a special preamp or a transformer before the preamp to get the signal up to what it is. Anyway, I really appreciate all of the recommendations, and there's a good chance that in the near future, I will invest in a different cartridge to compare my cartridge to. But what I did was I went online to Sumiko and gave them an inquiry and said, "Help, my cartridge died. What do I do?" And they emailed me back saying, "Take it to your dealer." And they have a program whereas they will take your old cartridge in and they will trade it into us for retipping. As a result, they will sell you a new cartridge, either the same one that you had or an upgraded one at a discount. And when I bought the Sumiko Blue Point number 2 cartridge, a wonderful sounding cartridge, it was $449. Okay. So a moving coil cartridge. All right. Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll quickly show you some specs on that. Most cartridges, they go 20 to 20,000 hertz. This one goes from 15 hertz to 35 kilohertz. 2.5 millivolts output per channel, blah this, blah that. And it's got 47K ohms load impedance, which is about the same as a lot of popular moving magnet cartridges. And numbers are one thing. What you perceive in your ears as to what sounds good or not, that's that's you. So what I did is I went back to the dealer that sold me my cartridge and showed it to him. And instantly he accused me of doing something to the cartridge that I shouldn't be doing. Are you sure you had the right tracking force on this cartridge? What'd you do? Turn the cartridge up, put a lot of weight on it? Not, you know, some people when they're having trouble playing records, what they'll do is they'll take a couple of coins, you know, like a quarter or a nickel and put it on there. And you're not supposed to do that, especially with a very delicate cartridge like a moving coil cartridge. It's like, no, sir, no, Mr. Bernie, I did not take a silver dollar and put it on my tone arm. I was tracking at under 2 grams, just a shade under 2 grams. And I was listening to a copy of Grateful Dead's Wake of the Flood, and I opened up the dust cover, and I was going to grab it, but before my hand got anywhere near the record or the stylus or the cartridge or the tone arm, it just went across the record. And I'm thinking, the hell? So I picked it up, put it back, and it double checked the cueing and everything. Nothing else going wrong. Put it back down. Cartridge just skated across the record like that. And it was terrifying. So I said, honest, I've been listening to this thing for about 2.5 years, almost 2 and 3/4 years. I bought this in January of 2020, just before the pandemic, and it has served me well. It's a wonderful sounding cartridge. So, what are my options here? And he says, well, we've got this Blue Point number 2, which I originally paid $450 for. The price hasn't gone up in almost 3 years, possibly because they no longer manufacture this cartridge. But he said, got this one here. We've also got the upgrade, the Blue Point Special. And that's also a high output moving coil cartridge. Says, I'll give you a new one of these for $300 and take your old cartridge and trade so I can send it back to Samico for retipping. Or you can get the upgrade for $450. So I thought, you know what? I love the sound of that cartridge. I'd like to get the same one. So he only had one in stock. It's interesting that they used to have like a jewel box, like you get a ring in, open up, say, "Honey, will you marry me?" But now they've got a wood box, and the cartridge came in there. So um, I they took the cartridge, I remounted it, rebalanced it, recalibrated it, double checked my vertical tracking angle, played around with that for a couple of hours until I got it tuned in just right. And now I'm in the break in phase. Yes, when you get a new cartridge, you got to break it in. I'd say, 10, 20 hours, and then the thing will mellow out, and you'll know how that cartridge sounds. Uh, so that is that. So I'm probably going to get another cartridge just to compare it in the future. But right now, I'm back to the same cartridge that I was with before. So that's very nice. Okay. So what did I do this week after that? Got some new record. Got a new record or three, which I'll show you a little bit later. And I was a DJ today. I rocked the turntables. Now, I used to have my own complete two turntable setup, which had my Technics 1200 on one side, and I have a Stanton ST 30 or 20 or something like that. I have a Stanton turntable on this side and a Technics 1200 on this side. And that goes into my DJ mixer, and that goes into my PA system. However, um, my Technics 1200 is now my home turntable, and I only have one turntable that I can use for DJing. I'm eventually going to buy a new Technics 1200. The new ones are really nice, and they're around $1,000, $1,100. Very highly recommended. But today, I got to go and use somebody else's equipment. Now, the name of the place that I went to is called the Winchester Music Tavern. It's in Lakewood, Ohio, west side of Cleveland. And the Northeast Ohio Vinyl Club, which is on Facebook. If you live in Northeast Ohio and you are a vinyl collector, by all means, apply to join our ragtag group of young kids and older people that collect vinyl and talk about it to each other. It's a lot of fun. Um, and Northeast Ohio Vinyl Club also hosts every Tuesday, 8 Turntable Tuesday from 6 to 9 p.m., where people can come and bring their records, sign up, and everybody gets a 20-minute set. And people hang out, get something to drink, something to eat. It's a lot of fun. Just play music out in public and socializing. And but I was requested to be the DJ for what we used to call a swap and sale, or kind of like a little teeny record convention. But today's event was called the Birdtown Market because the neighborhood that with the Winchester Music Tavern is in is called Birdtown because there's a lot of streets that are named after different types of birds. Like there's a quail, and I don't know that maybe there's a chickadee or something else there, but there's all sorts of streets that are named after different species of birds. And I got to go there and had a lot of fun. I did get to run out amongst the crowd and search for records. And I also had a bunch of records to sell as well. So I made a few bucks. So that's fun. Now, this is my box that I take when I go to DJ a gig. And it fits a few dozen records, but it's slightly heavier than it was this morning. Okay. My preview headphones. These are Sony MDR V250s. I don't even know if they make these things anymore. I bought them a long time ago. I like them because you can have them around your neck. You can put one up like this and preview your stuff, or you can hold them like this and preview your record when you're queuing it up. And what's even better is that they've got a mono stereo switch and a volume control right here in these headphones. Very, very nice. I enjoy those. Pardon me. And I also have, these are suitable for DJ headphones, but I prefer them for my personal listening headphones. Let me show you what I use every day. Wait, what's that t-shirt you're wearing, Bill? Why, it's my Grown Man Record Night t-shirt. Yes, that's about the program on Friday nights on the Grown Man Record Night channel. Mikey Bananas is always there, and sometimes we the other guys, Steve Fever and Jay, they're there as well. But lately they've been ditching him, so folks have been helping out. Every once in a while, I go up there and he puts me on the screen. I love Grown Man Record Night. I especially love the DJing that they do. They play records on Twitch, twitch.com/Grown Man Record Night. And I love listening to them play records. And of course, that's not saved, but the show itself, which is on YouTube, usually starts at about midnight Friday night. That's wonderful. And Mikey was asking me if I was going to be streaming tonight. So here I am. Anyway, my usual headphones are my trusty Audio Technica ATH 50s. Yes. Is that the entire model number? ATH M50X. Love these headphones. I used to have the 70X headphones a few years ago, and those are very detailed headphones. They're very high end and they cost a lot more. But you know what? Yes, they're very detailed, and for recording engineers, they are good headphones to use as reference. But for good old enjoyment and listening, save yourself some money. These are around $150, $180. Get these if you want a popularly priced headphone that's just going to be rugged and sound absolutely wonderful. So let me put these back up on the hook where I usually keep them when I'm not listening. Yeah. And let's take a look at records that I took to the swap today. Let's see, records that I played. Let's see, let's go here and start out with some Blue Oyster Cult Secret Treaties. And then I had a special set based on the Pink Floyd Animals album. Now, this is not the new version, this is the original. And I didn't really play this album, but yeah, I kind of did. Here's what I did. I played Pigs on a Wing Part 1, the beginning of the album. And then I segued. Where is it? Oh, yeah, there it is. I segued into a 12-inch single of Kate Bush's Hounds of Love. I wanted to play Atomic Dog, but I left that record here like an idiot. So I played Hounds of Love, great tune by Kate Bush. And then I segued into the last out chorus of Dogs by Pink Floyd. And as soon as that song was over, dragged down by the stone, dun, went into Piggy by 9 Inch Nails off of the Downward Spiral. Nothing can touch me now because I don't care anymore. And at the end of that, I I played the out chorus from Pigs by Pink Floyd off of Animals. And in the sound effects of birds and wind that are in between pigs and sheep, I put on this Sheep Go to Heaven, Goats Go to Hell by Cake off of the album Prolonging the Magic. And yes, it is on magically beautiful, wonderful blue vinyl. Look at that. You gotta love it. So, and then after that, I played Pigs on a Wing Part 2. And that was my set. That was a tribute to the Pink Floyd Animals album. Then I played some Horace Silver off of Sterling Silver. This is a album of songs that were left off of other albums, like previously unreleased stuff. And a lot of these tracks ended up as bonus tracks on different CD releases years later. But a good album if you can find it cheap. Then I played some Schizzos. Yeah, Schizzos. Found out about this from Michael Pilmer, and several other people have shown this. Vinyl Richie, as a matter of fact. Hello, Richie, if you're listening. And man, this is a great record. So I played like 2 tunes off of this. And there's this lady who's an older lady, even older than me, I would think. If not, she thinks older than me. She comes up and she says, "What kind of music is that?" And I said, "It's punk. It's just good old fashioned punk rock, even though it's newer punk rock." And she's just wiggling, wrinkling up her nose at me and saying, "Hey, I don't like that." And I said, "Well, what can I play for you? What kind of music do you like?" And she pointed to her shirt and it said Beatles. And I said, "Sorry, I don't have any Beatles with me today, but I'll try and play some stuff that's more conventional. I'm sorry that you don't like this." Because when I DJ, my stuff's all over the place unless it's a special themed night and I'm expected to play certain stuff. For example, I'm DJing a wedding in 2 weeks. And I got a whole list of songs that I'm supposed to play for that couple because it's their special night. I'm playing for them and for them only, and their families. So that's that. So then I went into things like Iggy Pop, the post pop depression album with Josh Homme. Played some Cure. Played some of the Godfather's Soul, James Brown. I played To Hell with Poverty by Gang of Four. Man, this is a great record. It's just an EP, but still, To Hell with Poverty is a great tune. I played a couple of tracks off of the new Todd Rundgren album, Space Force, which I did review this week. And not bad, not great, but it's okay. If you are into Todd Rundgren deeply, by all means, you might want to get that. And also, as a preview, I'm going to be doing a Record Store Day Black Friday episode with the current list. And speaking of Todd Rundgren, on Black Friday, the album Something Anything is going to be re-released in a boxed set. 4 records, 4 different colors of vinyl, recut at 45 RPM. I love that album. And I'm wondering, oh my gosh, should I spend the money? It's a lot of money. So I'm going to have to pull out my original Something Anything from the 70s, listen to it, and see how I like it. All right. Um, Played Flower Punk off of this Zappa compilation album from the UK. I played some Hank Mobley from No Room for Squares. This is the 2 record, 45 RPM analog productions version that was mastered by Kevin Gray and Steve Hoffman. Sounds wonderful. And let's see. I played some Prince off of the Bootleg Black album. Played a little bit of Mott the Hoople, played a little bit of Tom Petty. Just keeping the place happy. And one thing that we do at the end of every swap is we play from the Fonzie Favorites record, the Fonzarelli Slide, which is basically us saying, folks, the show's over. Get out. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And then everybody packs up. Wanted to play some Queens of the Stone Age off of this album, but didn't get a chance to. But while I was playing some of the records, I went out and bought some other records. So, what was the first one I got? Well, I'll just pull these as they come up. This was originally purchased at Used Kids Records in Columbus, Ohio for $1, but this is in immaculate shape. I already have a copy of this, but I was hoping for an upgrade. This is A Secret Wish by Propaganda. And oh my God, I love this record. This is on the Zang Tum record label, ZTT. The record label that was started by Trevor Horn and the people with Art of Noise and things like that. And this album's 4 people, and they put out 2 albums actually. They also put out another album called 1, 2, 3, 4. This is electric synth pop with some studio musicians filling in stuff. Great tunes, wonderful production. I just love the hell out of this record. One interesting thing about this record is that every format of this album is different. The LP has a different mix than the CD and or edits. Sometimes the edits are a little bit different. And also the cassette version of the album was different. And there is a super audio CD that was released in Europe of this album that has a 5.1 surround mix, and I would gladly wager money to bet that the mix on that is different. But I can't find a copy of that that's less than $110. Now I could find it for like about 40 or 50. Hey, I would pick it up in a heartbeat. But in the meantime, if you see this for cheap, I recommend highly picking this up. Propaganda, A Secret Wish. Wonderful stuff. Another album that I got this week, and the last thing that I played before I shut the thing down was from this album, The Evolution Control Committee, from Negative Land Sealand Records. This album, All Right Rights Reserved. There's a track called What Would You Do If I Sang Autotune, which is basically the Beatles with a little help from my friends. They took the instrumental version of it, and then they took Ringo's solo vocal, and they auto-tuned Ringo's vocals so that he was singing completely out of tune throughout the entire song, and it's maddening to listen to. And that lady who came up to me and said she wanted to hear some Beatles, she got really upset, and she started yelling at me and says, "Oh, take that off! It's terrible! What are you doing? What are you playing? That's horrible!" I apologized to her. I said, I'm sorry that you didn't like that. But if I would have had some regular Beatles here today, I would have played that for you. Excuse me. That's kind of funny. Yes. Oh, Lavelle Andrew. Hello, sir. Good to see you. And yes, the price of used records are going a bit high, but you can find some bargains. I mean, for example, this propaganda album, I only paid $5 for this. Um, anyway, kept on looking for things. I got a copy of Billion Dollar Babies by Alice Cooper. The reason I bought this is because I've got this album already, but I've got the quadraphonic release, which is on CD4, and it sounds horrible. So, picked this up. Let's pull the record out and see how trashed it is. Let's see. It's got all the original inserts in here. Now, just to remind you folks, these are the tracks on the album. Hello, Hooray, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Elected, good album. And inside of here, okay, so that's not it. Inside the Quad version, there was like a big folded up dollar bill thing. Okay, so that's not in here. But we do have the original inner sleeve with a picture of Coop and the guys and all of your lyrics and the record. It's an early press on the olive colored Warner Brothers label. Oh, yes, very nice. And let's see, it's got some dirt on it, some dust. And once this is cleaned up, this will probably sound quite good. If you can find one of these olive colored Warner Brothers labels, you're in for some good listening. They were mastered well, they play well, as long as they haven't been abused. Yes, do like some Alice Cooper. All right. So I picked that up because I wanted a nice plain copy of it. And I'm looking for records for my older stepdaughter. Her and her husband moved into a house a little over a year ago, almost a year ago. And as a housewarming present, I gave them a turntable and a bunch of records. And now they've started a small collection. Um, I gave them some Stones records because Sam is a Stones freak, and I've given them some other records. And then Chris, her husband, has come out with me to a couple of record shows. We picked out some cheap things. He came with me to Record Store Day, but she just loves the Stones. And I was looking for some more Rolling Stones records that she doesn't have, and I found this. The bad thing is, I don't have a copy of Steel Wheels of my own already. So I love you, Sam, but until I find another copy of this one's mine. And not only that, it's a gold stamp promo, which means it's an early press, which means it's a first press, and it sounds good. Original inner with the pictures of the band and the lyrics. And the record is in pretty good shape. I do, however, have to give it a little bit of a cleaning. Look at that. Beautiful. Ah, yes. Let me put that away. Got a few more things to show you. And I got at least 20 more minutes of this to go. Lovell, if you're a first-time viewer to this live stream, I know you've watched some of my videos in the past, and I enjoy watching your videos from time to time. My live streams usually go for about an hour or so. So, yes. Okay. Then some other things that were really cheap. Elton John Blue Moves. This record cover is beat up to hell, but um, this is uh, this is a hidden gem in the Elton John catalog, and there's the inside of it. And let's take a look at one of the two records. I won't spend too long on this. Just want to see in how good of a condition it is. On the MCA Rocket Records label, and this looks like it's in pretty good condition. A few surface scratches, but nothing that won't be taken care of with a nice clean. So, very happy for that. Two more things that I bought today. I might already have a copy of this, but this is the Grassroots 16 Greatest Hits. Yeah, bubblegum from the 60s and early 70s. And you know what? I made a mistake. I thought that this was a two record set, but no, they crammed 16 hits onto one LP. So, I'll clean that up. It's on Dunhill and looks pretty clean. Might be a little bit worn, but hey, I got this for like a buck. And another thing that I got for a buck, and call me crazy. Thank you. Yes, I am crazy. But it was only $1. I've already got 2 copies of this. You're going to laugh. Superstars of the 70s. This is a 4-record set that was originally sold either, I think it was sold by mail order, and it was also in select department stores when it came out. I think it was like 1973, yeah, by Warner Special Products. But it's a great collection of classic rock. Okay, so it's a boxed set. You take off the top, and hang on a second. Let me just move some things around here. You get yourself a program guide, which lists all the songs that are on here, all 8 sides. I'll just zoom through here. If you're watching this on a replay, you may want to just freeze frame this and take a look. I mean, Alice Cooper, Seals and Crofts, Beach Boys, Randy Newman, Judy Collins, The Doors, Yes, Stephen Stills, Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway, Grateful Dead, James Taylor, Bee Gees, Doors, Jefferson Airplane, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Jimi Hendrix, Bee Gees, Kinks, Stones, JoJo Gunn, America, Todd Rundgren, The Guess Who, Carly Simon. And if that weren't enough, you've got Otis Redding, Deep Purple, Gordon Lightfoot, Roberta Flack, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Judy Collins, Van Morrison, Guess Who, Joni Mitchell, The Byrds, America, Eagles, Doobie Brothers, Wilson Pickett, Arlo Guthrie, Jackson Brown, Black Sabbath, Emerson Lake and Palmer, Rolling Stones, Graham Nash, The Faces, Aretha Franklin, Allman Brothers Band, all this and more for the low price of I paid $1 for it. But my 2 copies are pretty darn worn. So pick this up. It looks like it was properly cared for. Let's just take a look at one of these records. Nice. This looks like it was owned by a competent adult, not a 13-year-old kid like I was when I got my first one. So that's that. That's what I got here today, and it was a lot of fun at the Birdtown Market. If you follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, I think I'm just Bill Camarada. I posted a couple of pictures, and I wanted to talk about the turntables because I said that I wasn't using my DJ equipment. I was using the DJ equipment that belonged to the Northeast Ohio Vinyl Club. They've got the Audio-Technica LP120, which is a clone of the Technics SP1200, although not built as sturdy as the Technics 1200. Now, the Audio-Technica AT120, ATLP120, they cost like about $200, $400 at the most. and they are made to be a clone of the Technics SP 1200. Now, this is not a bad turntable, the Audio Technica one. It's a good turntable. It's well made, but it's not built like a tank, which is how the Techniques are built. So when I go back to DJing with my own equipment, I'm going to buy another 1200 for my home use and take the 1200 that I'm using now and stick it in my DJ rig, because man, those things are rock solid. When you press the start button, you don't hear a click sound in the speakers that are going out there. And yeah, you gotta love the wheels of steel. They are beautiful. The Techniques 1200. All right. And let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Zappa news. This week is the week that Zagreb and Ljubljana, I know I'm mispronouncing those, but it's a 2 CD set of recordings that Zappa made in 1975 in Yugoslavia. I've heard bootlegs of these, and I can't wait to hear what this release is going to be. If you haven't already seen it already, um, check out my interview with Vaultmeister Joe Travers, where I spoke to him for about an hour and a half. We talked about Frank Zappa, we talked about records, we talked about collecting records. It was a great, fun conversation, and I'm looking forward to talking with him again. Joe Travers is the Vaultmeister. He's in charge of producing the Zappa posthumous releases along with Amit Zappa. And he's also a wonderful drummer. He plays for the Zappa band. He's also he plays in other places as well. Watch the video, you'll find out. And Level, I want you to get a Technics 1200 as well, because those are awesome turntables. They're back in production, and like I said, they cost around 1,000, 1,100, a bargain as far as I'm concerned for as good as these turntables sound. I mean, it's not a VPI, but uh, for most people, it's beyond what you have ever imagined how good a turntable would sound. As long as you're not, spending lots of money. I can't afford to spend a lot of money. I spend enough money on records, and I'm a retired gentleman as well. Also, um, at the beginning of the show, and I'll play it again at the end of the show, I played a musical selection. And yes, that was by the band Spudlock, which I was one half of. And we recorded that in the late 80s, early 90s. And production is coming along on the eventual vinyl release. Um, I've I've given up on finding all the original analog cassettes of everything that we recorded, and I'm assembling the best digital versions that we do have of everything, and I'm going to finalize the track order with the other half of Spudlock sometime in the next couple of weeks, I hope, and then I'm going to get the thing tweezed by a mastering engineer, and then we'll get it onto the manufacturing part. Once it's available, I will be hawking it and selling it to you people. Probably only going to make about 250, 300 copies, but that is that. Uh, did I ever mention that I really do enjoy Diet Coke with black velvet? It's low carb and it makes you feel good. So that's about everything that's going on right now. Got about, say, less than 10 minutes left. Anybody out there have any questions or want me to comment on anything? I'll be more than happy to entertain questions at this time. We've had a good number of people in here. Coming up this week, what's coming up this week? Let's see. Aside from the Zappa thing, um, Oh, also, I didn't mention at the swap today, I did sell a number of records, so I was happy. I actually spent a lot less than I made, so that was making me real happy, and I made some people happy with the choices of their records that they picked up. One guy, I didn't have change. There was an album that he wanted to buy. It had an $8 sticker on it, and and I said, "Well, I don't have change for you." And he only had it seemed like he only had a 20. So I said, "What do you got?" And he digs deep into his pocket and he pulls out 4 $1 bills and he says, "I got some stripper money." And I said, "All right, you got a deal. Give me those $4, take the record." So he walks away and about 20 minutes later he comes back and he says, "You know, Bill, I was so happy to get that record. I'm going to pay you 9 for it." And he hands me a 5. You know, small change, but very happy about it. Chief Dancing Ostrich, she wants to know. Fourth episode of New Quantum Leap should be coming this Tuesday on Peacock. I haven't watched the new Quantum Leap. I used to watch the old Quantum Leap a long, long time ago. Um, I don't know if I can get into this new one. I may watch it. You know, my wife and I we watch different shows throughout the week, and you never know. I may do an episode about nothing but TV shows I watch. And let's see what Level says. He says, "I've been thinking about buying the Bill Evans Riverside box, but it's expensive." And yeah, 900 bucks. I got like 3 or 4 of the albums either on Analog Productions or OJCs of that. But I don't know. Let's see what's going on. My Ring doorbell just told me that there's something happening outside. So what's going on, folks? Let's see. It's Did a raccoon run across my porch? Let's take a look. Let's see. It's late at night here in Cleveland, Ohio. Well, come on. What's going on? Oh, that's interesting. No, no, wait. It was what time was that? That was 10:51 p.m. No video found. That's strange. Well, I guess when I'm done here, I'll have to go outside and make sure everything's fine. But Charlie wants to know, where did you get your cartridge? I picked mine up at a place called Play It Again Sam in Lakewood, Ohio. Um, it's a place that sells a lot of used audio, a lot of new audio. Some people don't like the place. I like it because I get what I want. So I'm the next cartridge I buy may be mail order, or I may go to another state or something to pick that up. But I love the Blue Point number 2. It's a great sounding cartridge. Stuff sounds wonderful with it. And I'm going to do my best, Chief Dancing Ostrich, to check out the new Quantum Leap. I usually don't like reboots of shows like that, but hey, I have an open mind. And Lovell might do it as well. So that's going to be about it for this week. I'm going to play that song one more time at the end of the show. The name of the song is Hobnobbin' with the Gooch. What's it about? Well, primarily, it's about unusual writing instruments, but it ventures into all sorts of perversion. And it discusses the main uh, arch enemy of Arnold on different strokes, the Gooch. So here's the song one last time. Thank you for tuning in. Had a great time. Hope you did too. Please hit the like button. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. I appreciate all my subscribers. Third Devo, the third Devo video is in the works, and I got some other things up my sleeve as well. including an overview of my audio system, which is going to baffle everybody because it's so backwards from what everybody else in the world has. So here it is, Hobnobbing with the Gooch. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, everybody. After this, go listen to some music.
Prove the existence of God. Find it in your face. In the shadows, in the hall, I can't find it anymore. Seize the opportunity, seek the nearest goal, for proving the existence of God, lost inside your face. A man named Sketch, he's an etch. He has a smell, you know quite well. He comes in colors, in a full pack. You only use him, then put it back. You take it for granted, you'll be mad once it's away. What's the use if it is scented? Smell the drawings look that way. You press the top, and more comes out. Little tips and increments, bring you all about. It's always sharpened, but when it's done, reload's impossible and never fun. You take it for granted, you'll be mad once it's away. Piece of wood turned to mechanic, stupid pencils put that way. You write things down, they fade away. Electric scissors cut through your pants. Barbecue chips never last too long. Kale pectate burns real nice. Hobnobbing with the goose. 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 Gooch, 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 gooch. Hobnobbing with the gooch. Hey, let's hobnob now. Go have the gooch. Yeah. Hobnobbing with the gooch. Hobnobbing with the gooch. Hobnobbing with the gooch. Hobnobbing with the gooch. Hobnobbing with the gooch.